Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were discussing about different types of meditation. In the first class, we had discussed what is meditation. Then we had discussed four types of meditation. One is subjective or subject meditation. Second is object meditation. Third is just bare awareness, neither subject nor object, which we did previous time. And the fourth one is it is a mixture of subject and object meditation. So today I'll be discussing about the devotional aspect of the object meditation, which also includes the japa, repetition of the sacred mantra or a sacred name of the Lord. Why do we have to do this japam? What is the science behind it? How it helps our mind to control and also to have the vision of the deity or a Lord or divine. Probably I will start a interesting story from Swamiji's life. We all know Swamiji was well established in meditation. He was Dhyana Yogi, as a born Dhyana Yogi, as his guru Sri Ramakrishna told. And we have probably most of us, we know the funny story of Naren's when he was a small boy, where the serpent came, he was unaware of it. When he was in US, after giving so many lectures and all, he went with a selective disciples to Thousand Island Park in US. There he wanted to have intense sessions on spirituality and also on philosophy. One fine day, he said to his disciples, "Come, we shall go and meditate." So around 10 to 15 people, selective disciples, who are very serious in the spiritual pursuit, knowledge per se, they all believed in knowledge per se. They were all very happy to go and sit along with Swami Vivekananda for meditation. They were all very happy. Morning, they went. Probably there was a rock in Thousand Island Park, and below a tree, they went there. And Swami Vivekananda sat and he asked them to sit straight with a comfortable position. And just he didn't give much instructions. He only said, "Come on, let us meditate." By that time, probably they had heard something about meditation through Raja Yoga. So they all sat. Now imagine, generally we have 45 minutes of meditation where we get some theory and last 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes we practice. Now, if I increase the span of time, then slowly, either online or offline, only I have to be there. The same thing happened with Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda said for everyone, "Come, we'll sit for meditation." And everyone sat for meditation, sitting straight and closing eyes. And whatever they knew, they started practicing meditation. 15, 20 minutes over, complete silence. Swamiji has gone to Samadhi. He has lost his sense of body senses or awareness of the external atmosphere. He has plunged himself in the Samadhi. 15, 20 minutes over, slowly people started opening their eyes and seeing here and there. But everyone is sitting. Half an hour over, 30 minutes, 45, 50 minutes over. Then still Swamiji is not telling anything, is not opening his eyes, now there is no signs of his coming down. Then after an hour or 1 hour, 15 minutes, say, Then slowly people started moving their bodies because of moving their bodies and changing the leg position, etc. After 5 10 minutes, people felt Swami Vivekananda is not going to come down. We are not able to go up. So it is better to leave the place. So slowly, one by one, they started getting up and slowly getting away from the place. And after 2 or 3 hours, Swami Vivekananda, his mind came down a bit and slowly he opened his eyes. And for his astonishment, he alone was there, none was there in front of him. Everybody was missed. So it is not that easy to sit for meditation for long hours. Quality meditation is very important. When we sit for meditation, how much we are with awareness, we are able to concentrate, no doubt. Even one moment or 1 minute, it gives a tremendous energy for us, no doubt. But along with that, even quantity meditation means the span, duration also matters. One of the apostle of Sri Ramakrishna, he says that, look, if you people 5, 10, 15 minutes, you sit and meditate, good it is, no doubt. But by that, if you feel that you can have a God realization, it is impossible. Even he goes to extent saying that even if you meditate for 1 hour, a good amount of quality meditation, that is enough to wash out the samskaras, the tendencies which we accumulate in day-to-day life. Then what to speak of God realization or self-realization? So Swami Vivekananda goes to the extent saying that whoever is serious in spiritual life, he has to take the meditation path, the path of meditation seriously. Now, today's object meditation, we already, as I said, we would like to speak about the japam. Japyate iti japaha means when it is repeated again and again, again and again, again and again, then that is called japa. Purascharana, they say. So we call a name, we 2 3 times we call someone. But again and again repeating the same name, sacred syllables, that is called japa. Now, how this can bring an effect on us, how it can help us to have a God realization or the manifestation of the divinity, understanding oneself, it is very important. In the Bible, there's a beautiful word. God created the word. From word, everything has come out. The same idea has been told hundreds of years before in Spotayanavada. According to the Spotayanavada, a school of philosophy, Indian philosophy, they say that the whole world is a creation from this Omkara, Pranava, Om. Means the whole world has created from this word Om, means the whole world is created from this sound. How can we say that from the sound, the whole world is created? According to the Upanishads, they say that the manifestation of the divinity in the creation is the first is sound. Space from after space, sound. Space or sound or whatever. So sound is the first manifestation of the divinity. That's the reason it is called Shabda Brahma. It is equated with the divine, or it is equated with the God, or it is equated with the Brahman, who is the source for entire creation. And when we utter the syllables or sacred names, they are also part of this sound. Now, the sound, what you say, the concrete form of sound is nothing but words. What are words? Maybe alphabets, you can say, and it is nothing but sound. When I say rose, immediately in most of our mind, a beautiful rose will come in a picture of rose will come in our mind. Maybe which we have seen in malls or maybe in front in our gardens or in somewhere park, beautiful rose will come and probably will have a soothing effect in our mind. Similarly, lotus, blue lotus, again, it brings an object or say water, pencil, mobile, any word we say, immediately it is a sound, nothing but it hears and it does a process in a brain, immediately an object comes. So, and also word creates an object. One is that. The other is words also are able to create feelings. Oh, how beautiful you are. it is nothing but words or nothing but sound, immediately I feel so happy. You are not so handsome, you are ugly. Immediately my feelings gone down. Oh my God. I'm not that handsome, it seems. Oh, I was feeling that I am handsome, but they are saying that I'm not handsome. You are a rogue. You are a good. So these are nothing but words or sounds, but it creates a lot of feelings in us and which will have its own cascading effects. And at the same time, these words also can create a lot of energy in our mind. Say, we can make an experiment in our life when we chant Omkar. Say, for an example, close and start chanting Omkar for 20, 25 times. Loudly, maybe loudly or with a slow sound. That creates a positive impact on our mind, on our body. And you can feel the change in yourself and in the atmosphere. So that is the power of the sound, that is the power of the words. But unfortunately or fortunately, we are not aware of it. Then, when we come to the Lord's name, Patanjali, the great sage who advocated the Patanjali Yoga school of philosophy, he says that the names of the divine has got Vak Shakti, means a word of the said Omkara, or say for example Rama or Krishna or Jesus or Buddha. So when these words, when we keep on repeating, they are capable of revealing the reality. What is the reality? The reality is God. It is not a just an object, rather it is a God. The power of the word, that is called Vak Shakti, it is capable of revealing an object, more than that, revealing the God himself. That is called Vak Shakti by Patanjali. And these mantras are also part of this Vak Shakti. Our Vak Shakti mantra contains Vak Shakti. And what is mantra? Mananatiti mantra. Again and again, we have to cogitate on it, apart from repeating. Why? It is not only repetition. Japa, it is only repetition. Mantra means it is repetition along with feeling or along with thinking the meaning of it. That covers the mantras. Like Om Namah Shivaya. Om, syllable sacred sound. Namaha, salutations. Shivaya. My salutations to Shiva. So, who is Shiva? Who is very auspicious? It is not that Shiva means who has got matted hair, who has got Trishul and all. We have given forms for him, no doubt. But if you see the etymological meaning of Shiva, comes from the root word called Sham, means it is Mangala, it is auspicious. The divine is auspicious, we all know that. And Namaha, salutations. And Na Mama, I am not, means I am trying to reduce my, I am trying to erase my, I am trying to remove my pseudo ego. And I'm saying that, oh Lord, you are everything. I am your servant, I am your son or a daughter, friend, or whatever. And Omkara, again, the whole world has come from that Omkara, which is a sacred syllable. When we know this meaning and when we chant this mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, that will have its different effect on our mind. So repetition is also involved in this mantra, and along with the meaning, if you can do it, then it will have a different effect on our mind. Then, generally, often asked questions in many of the classes I've seen in India, mantras are sounds and words. So sounds can create certain frequency. Sound can create a particular frequency. Fine. Then why should we use the word? I mean, why should we utter the Lord's name like Shiva, Krishna, Kali, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, or whatever? I will say, hooray, hahu, ahu, ho, because they are sounds. So they will also create its, frequency, or it will have its effect. Why can't we utter these words, any word, whichever I like? Why should utter these mantras itself? This often many people ask or pose this question. Of course, it is very important and very intelligent, no doubt. These mantras are not mere sounds, they're not mere words, and they are not composed. Rather, it has been revealed to the great people. When the saints, when the seers, when the rishis, when they sat for meditation, when their mind rise to the particular level, highest level, there these names are with the Bijakshara, which I'm going to explain, with the Omkara, all these were revealed for them. So these mantras have got it their own effect. It is not mere words or it is not mere sounds that we have to understand. So when we utter mantra, whatever the effect we get, whatever the merits we get, the same merits we don't get when we utter some words like hooray, ho, ha, he, ha, he, who, like that and all. People keep saying we don't get that effect. We have to understand. Now, a small seed from people tree you take. What is a tiny seed? Now, a child is sitting below people tree with a mother. The child asks, Mother, what is this? Oh, this is a people tree seed. Okay, such a tiny one. Okay, interesting. What is the use of it? How can we use it? The mother says, My dear, if you go and sow in the soil and you water it, and in no time, slowly the people tree will sprout and a plant, and slowly it becomes a tree, like a huge tree. You are seeing this people tree, huge people tree. Similarly, that huge tree can manifest from this small, tiny seed. The child may agree or may not agree. And it said, Come on, mother, please don't bluff me. Such a huge tree, how it can come from this small, tiny seed of people tree? And he says, Yes. So, similarly, the universal energy has been embedded in this Lord's name. That's why in Tantra Shastra, a school of philosophy, they say Nama Nami Abhed, means there is no difference between the word, the name, and the person who has got a name. Like for example, Shiva. Shiva is a Shakti. It has got some power, universal power, cosmic power in the name itself, and that name corresponds to it is reference to a particular a person. Oh, Shiva is a dissolver, is a Parabrahma, is a supreme Lord. We all say if you surrender, if you pray for him, he does many things, he fulfills your desires, and all we say. Whatever the power a Lord has got, the same power has been embedded in his name also. So when we start repeating these syllables or Lord's names, so slowly we'll be able to tap that energy from the universal energy that we have to understand. No Shiva, yeah. Or say for an example, we'll take something else, maybe for Durga somewhere. Om Dum Durgaya Namah, Durgaye Namaha. So Mother Durga has got the name has got so much power, whatever she is. Sushti Sthiti Vinashanam Shakti Bhute Sanatan. She is the creator, she is the maintainer, and she is the dissolver. All that power is there hidden in her, and the whole creation has come from her. That's what Devi Bhagavata says. And that so much power is embedded in her name. Fine. And that same power is also embedded in this Bija mantra, which is called in the seed form, the mantra in the seed form called Dum. Just it is a two letters, two alphabets, Du, M. Dum. The whole Durga's power, whatever you say, everything has been hidden in this Bijakshara, which is from Tantras we get a lot of these things. So the whole manifestation of the divinity, manifestation of creation, everything can be seen just by uttering this one Bijakshara. Even you not to utter the name, Lord's name, just from this Bijakshara, all this power can be tapped, and you will be the receiver of this power. That's we have to understand. How can you understand this? Say for an example, there are 100 people sitting. I want to call my friend called John. I said, Hello, John. There may be 100 people, no doubt. But whoever person has got a name called John, he only responds, Oh, hello, how are you, Jack? Other people won't respond. They may be knowing me, and others also, I know them and they know me, but the John only responds. Means a particular person, the name has got slowly so much intense connection. So with devotion, with that shraddha, belief or faith, if you can utter this Lord's name, what happens? A lot of energy gets taken. And it is one of the easiest way to control our mind. Why? Meditation all the time, it is not possible for us. All the places may not be conducive. Mind is turbulent, a mind is disturbed, and so much we have been tired. For so many reasons, sometimes we feel we are not able to sit and meditate. Then what can we do? You can start doing japam with feelings, with bhavana. Then what happens? Then so much energy you will be able to get. You are tired. Your mind is not okay. You are restless. You have got a depression. So many things may be there. But by repeating the Lord's name, including syllable and bijakshar if possible, then that will give a tremendous energy for all of us. According to me, that is like a shock absorber. Shock absorber of negative energy. It is a shock absorber of our depression, shock absorber of our stress, shock absorber of lower things, and it helps our mind to rise ourselves. It helps us to be positive, be energetic, and to face the problems and equip ourselves to go in our lives. So this is the greatness of the Lord's name. This is the greatness of syllable Om or what Atha, and this is the significance of the even the Bijakshara. So this we have to understand. And sometimes in these modern days, there are people I hear sometimes people call and ask some bijakshas because of their interest or because of maybe again marketing and all, they mix the bijaksharas with some different deities, different bijaksharas, and they keep on telling, can we do it? No, we are not supposed to do it. Why? Because it has got its own science and it has to come from the tradition parampara. And the person who gives the bijakshara combination, his mind, he should have that realization. Then only it makes a sense. Otherwise, it will not be. It can have a negative effect. So we should be very careful while receiving the mantras along with bijakshara from many gurus or teachers. And this has been explained in Tantra Shastras, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and so many places. Like any, what you say, artha has got three variants. One is shabda, that is artha, and the third one is pratyaya. Shabda means sound, or it is a name of an object. Artha means it is a meaning, means it is an object which we are referring to. And the pratyaya is emotions or thoughts connected with the object. So all these three things are included in one mantra. We are not able, probably we may not be able to understand this. So once you understand all these things, you will be able to understand the importance of the Lord's names or the importance of japa or importance of sacred names. And Shastras say, tad japaha tadartha bhavanam. When we sit for japam, when we take whatever the Lord's name, when we are doing japa, along with the japa, tat japaha, when repeating, tad artha bhavanam. We have to feel with the meaning. We have to feel what we are doing. So that what happens, that will not become mechanical. Say probably we will be sitting like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, like that we'll be telling, it becomes a mechanical, it is a only lip service, mind will be doing a world tour sometimes. That will not have a effect. It will not have a effect to larger extent on our mind. It may be better, little, it may be having, but it is not. So that's the reason we should be conscious. Consciously, we should be uttering the Lord's name, whatever mantra, and we should be every time, we should feel that. It can be, the speed may reduce, no doubt, but it will have a qualitative. Even say if you do on 108, even 1000, even that will have a tremendous effect, tremendous quality, and spiritual progress and others will be very good for us. So tad japaha, tad artha bhavanam is very, very important. In this japa itself, there are 2-3 types of japa, technically called. Even in, I think, Lalita Sahasranama mantras, when we chant, there these things in commentaries, we come to know this. One is Vachika Japa. Vachika Japa means we can chant loudly. Say, for an example, there's a congregation of 50 to 100 people, and all of them are the devotees of Lord Shiva. Then everyone start uttering the Lord's name, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shiva, like that. In a chorus form, we say. All of them together, they will be chanting loudly, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, which is a universal mantra. So that is called Vachika Japa. Now, if you have heard my talk carefully, you will get, Swamiji, you said the Bijakshara. Here, Om Namah Shivaya, there is no Bijakshara here. So the saints say that Om Namah Shiva, there is no Bijakshara. That itself is a mantra. In some mantras, there are no Bijakshara. Om Namah Shiva itself is considered some places as a Bijakshara. So there are different types of mantras also. Maybe sometimes we'll think about it. The other is Upamshu Japa. One is Vachika Japa, where we tell loudly universal mantras, which it is public and it can be commonly uttered in front of anyone and everyone. Then the other is Upamshu Japa, generally, which most of us in the even Ramakrishna Machan mission, when the gurus tell, they ask us to do this Upamshu Japa at least. Means what? We are not supposed to utter the mantra loudly, rather mentally as much as possible, but lips will be moving and the tongue will be moving inside. Like so, lips will be movement and tongue movement will be there. But what I am uttering, even next person is sitting very closely in an absolute calm place, but he will not be able to listen. Why? Because we'll be uttering inside, the throat sensation will be there, lips will be moving, tongue will be moving inside, but I will not be telling loudly because it is secret, it is guhya. And why we should not tell these mantras loudly? Upamshayapa. They say that some mantras, chantings and all, we should tell loudly. And puja mantras, we should tell loudly. That will have an effect on us, and it will have an effect on the atmosphere also in general. Of course, the same mantras, if you do mentally, it will have its effect, no doubt. But generally, the practice is it should be told loudly. Now, Upamshu Japa, it has to be told inside as much as possible. So when you only lip service is there, only lips are movement and lip movement and tongue movement, and if you are able to tell inside mentally, it will have more power, it seems. So that is the reason, and it helps easily to control our mind, to control our feelings, and to remove the maybe bad thoughts, bad feelings, lustful thoughts. All these things, for all these things, Upamshu Japa is much more beneficial and prescribed from the Shastras or from scriptures. Now, the third type of japa is called Manasika Japa. Manasika Japa, what happens? There will be no lip movement. The name itself says it is a mental japa. Repetition of the name, along with the feeling, along with remembering the meaning of the mantra, but there will be no lip movements, even there will be no tongue movement. Only at the most, here the sensation will be there. Why? Because the sound is coming from the nabi, so there will be some sensation here in the throat portion, that's all, but there will be no movement in lips or even in the tongue, and it will be completely inside. So this is the one of the strongest, or which will have a lot of effect on us. That is what according to the Shastras. Even Upamshu Japa, like between Upamshu Japa and Manasika Japa, which has got more power, which has got more efficacy, if you ask, according to Shastras or according to scriptures, Manasika Japa has got more effect for the spiritual aspirant or for sadhaka than the Upamshu Japa. So if possible, we have to, when without what you say, movement of lip movement or tongue movement, and if you can do it, it will have a greater effect. One of the senior monk of Ramakrishna order, his name is Revered Swami Jagadatmanandji. And he has told by his own experience, of course, in personal level, he told, look, if you can do this Manasika Japa for a long time, you'll be able to control your lustful thoughts completely. You will have a mastery over that, and many other things he has told. Probably I may not be able to tell all of them. And he said that I made an experiment. This Manasika Japa, just trying to close your eyes, and without any lip movements or tongue movements, and if you are able to utter the mantra slowly and steadily, then it will have its efficacy, or it will have its effect on our life, on our personality to the larger extent. That's what Manasika, the efficacy and importance of Manasika Japa. And this Manasika Japa is also called Kantya Japa. Kanta means throat, japa. So japa is happening only in the throat. Means what? Throat sensation is there, that's all. Otherwise, no. Only mentally the sacred name or the sacred mantra is been uttered. So these are the three types of japa has been told. Now, before starting this japa, generally they say one is first we have to wash our, if you have finished your oblations, fine. Otherwise, evening time, other time, if you are doing, it is better to wash your legs, face, and get fresher. And this Manasika Japa, generally they say one is first we have to wash our, if you have finished your oblations, fine. Otherwise, evening time, other time, if you are doing, it is better to wash your legs, face, and get fresher. And if your mind is completely ready, fine. Otherwise, probably reading some good book, 1 or 2 pages, or hearing some good music, devotional music for 10, 15 minutes, or 5, 10, 15 minutes, based on the availability, or chanting some bhajans or devotional singing. By doing after this, if you sit for japam, then it will be good. So, according to the traditions, japa is we will be uttering the Lord's name along with understanding the meaning and with the feeling. Devotion. Feeling means here devotion or the shraddha or the reverence to the Lord, reverence to the divine. All these things are included here. Now, in the Ramakrishna Machan mission, there is a one more special thing. They say that along with the japa, you should also meditate on the Lord's form. That will have its more efficacy. It will have its more effect. Why? One is that I will be uttering the name again and again, thinking the same thing. It may be repeating the same and it may become mechanical. But when I'm repeating the Lord's name, like for example, Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya, and I'm also trying to visualize the form of Lord Shiva, and when I'm uttering, the concentration gets more and more condensed. Without concentration, I cannot visualize the form of the Lord, visualize the form of the divine or God. So there more concentration is required. As a result, it will have a more force. And I don't know how far it is true, but one of the Swami of our order, I have heard that whatever the upasana method we follow in our Ramakrishna mission, in generally that is called Shambhavi. That is called Shambhavi style itself. How far it is true, I do not know, but I have heard from one monk. Otherwise, I have not heard from any senior monks. So one is preparing whatever our gurus tell, praying for everyone, etc. Whatever the steps they tell, we should do it. And afterwards, when we start japa, feeling that God is in your lotus heart, feeling that His presence, and trying to meditate on His universal form, trying to see Him as a living God in a living form, and start repeating. Both, if you can do, then the meditation becomes more intense and it will have its efficacy. It will have its effect on us. And now people ask, by doing this japa, one can have realization. Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi, the goddess, she says yes. And she goes to the extent saying that every day, if you can properly chant 10 to 15,000 japa, and if you do for 10 years, and I will challenge you, and you will have a peace of mind, whatever the circumstances may come, your peace of mind doesn't get disturbed, you will not be stressful, you will be able to pursue your spiritual life, and you will be able to progress in your spiritual life. But the condition, terms and conditions apply 10 to 15,000 for 10 years at least. But the problem is, no, for us, daily 108, 200, 500, 1000 we do. And sometimes we may not do, sometimes we may be hurry bari, sometimes we do world tour doing our japam and say, Swamiji, how much ever I do, I don't have any spiritual progress. I'm not feeling spiritual progress. I'm not feeling God is there. I'm not feeling that there is a mantra has got some effect. Such type of complaints, such type of negative thinking, most of us, many of us will be having. Sometimes such complaints even mother did. Holy Mother Sharda Devi did here. Once when she got annoyed and said, do you think that can you purchase God? Because you did 10,000 japam, is it there's a rule that God should come and sit in front of you? You keep on doing it. God knows when to come because He's unconditional, no doubt. But at the same time, we should prepare our heart. We should prepare this instrument called body or this individual person so that we should be able to receive Him. If God comes tomorrow, probably I may not be able to, what you say, bear the presence of the Lord because He's such a pure man. So Holy Mother says that you keep on practicing this japam, then you'll be able to have the realization of God. Then what should be our attitude while we are doing japam with respect to self-realization or God realization or in spiritual progress? There's a beautiful story told by Sri Ramakrishna, which we can read in Gospel. Once Narada, who can realize God through japa. Narada, he descended on this earth and he was traveling. A spiritual aspirant saw. Oh, Narada, great sage, you have come. How are you? They exchanged the words, exchanged the communication. Then he asked, now, where are you going? Narada said, I came from Vaikuntha on some work. Now, after finishing the work, again I'll go to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is the abode where Lord Narayana says, according to the mythological stories. Then he was very happy. the spiritual aspirant who was meditating for a long time and he was doing his spiritual practices. He says that, my dear Lord, says Narada, can you do me a favor? Narada asks, what? Can you ask Vishnu that how much time still I should continue or pursue my japam so that he will appear in front of me? Narada said, okay, I can do that favor and there's no problem. I will ask this question with Lord Narayana. And again, he continues, Narada continues his journey. Again, second person asks the same question. The Narada says, okay, I shall ask Narayana and I will give you back the reply. But after some time, again, third person, Narada meets and he was also same question. Can you ask Narayana, when will he appear? I want to see the Narayana. I want to have realization of Narayana or God realization. He said, okay, we can do it. I will ask and I will tell you. Maybe after some time, again, some work, an urgent work, I think, Narada again descended on this earth. And he was walking on the same path. Again, these three people met, one after another. First fellow asked, when will I get the God realization? He said, oh, maybe 3-4 janma, 3-4 births. What? Still 3-4 births? I have to keep on repeating the Lord's name. Then why should I waste my life now? Why should I control my senses, control my mind, and keep myself busy in God's name? Anyhow, after 3 or 4 janmas, births only I'm getting. Now let me go to the end to the world and let me enjoy, let me have a pleasurable life, let me have a merrymaking. Then we will see after third or fourth birth, we will think of God. And he left his spiritual sadhana, spiritual practices, and he went. Second fellow was answered probably 7 or 8 births. He felt very morose. He felt, what? So much I'm doing japam and etc. And still Lord is not coming. What is this? So he became very negative in his mindset. The third person, the Narada said, look, there's a tamarind tree here. You see? Yes. If you've seen tamarind tree, the leaves, one leaf like it will be on a string will be there, and in one string itself probably 10, 15 small, very tiny leaves will be there. And imagine, in one string, if it is so, there are 10 or 15 small leaves will be there, very small leaves. So in one tree, probably some millions will be there. So third person, when he asked, Narada says, look, I'm going to reply your question, but you have to be careful. You have to take care of yourself. He says, okay, please tell me. Said, look, there's a tamarind tree here under which you are meditating. Yes, the tamarind tree, how many leaves are there? So many births after God will appear to you. Means it's millions of births. He started jumping. Oh, is it so? At least after so many years, so many janmas, so many births, I will have a God realization. Fine, thank you, Narada. He was never morose. He was never dejected. He started dancing, and again he started continuing his japam with love, affection, etc., etc. And in no time, Lord appeared in front of him. Then he said, I just now I heard from Narada saying that so many, tamarind leaves, how many are there in a tree? After so many births, I will get your realization or your darshan, your vision. Now only you came in no time. How? No, I was only testing all the three people. The first fellow, with some forceful thing, with a wrong intentions or whatever, he was doing a spiritual practice, but he was not enjoying the spiritual practice. It was a cumbersome for him. That's why he never had a real faith, belief in his meditation. For some intention, for some reason he was doing. Second person, yes, he had got some devotion, he had got some real spiritual urge, no doubt, but at the same time, again, same thing, same problem is he was not enjoying his spiritual practice. That's why he was dejected. Whereas the third person, he was enjoying his spiritual life, he was enjoying his spiritual practice, he was enjoying his actions. As a result, even millions of births afterwards, he's getting God realization. He never bothered because he was enjoying his spiritual practice. When we start enjoying our spiritual practice, maybe meditation, maybe japam, or maybe prayers, or maybe scriptural study, of course, our materialistic life or our day-to-day professional life, when we start enjoying our life, when we start enjoying our actions, when we start enjoying our spiritual practices, it will never be cumbersome. It will never be hard for us, or it will never be too much heavy for us. Rather, we'll be enjoying more and more, enjoying more and more. So this should be our attitude. If we can get it by our practice or by the blessings of the maybe our teachers or the some senior people or sages and all, then definitely we can understand that yes, we are in the right path and we can have God realization or self realization. So when we do japa or when we do dhyana, that is meditation, or when we do spiritual practices with a zest, with a positive attitude, with that happiness, with enjoying, we should do our spiritual practices. Then we'll be able to have a God realization. Probably we'll take one mantra and we'll start repeating slowly for 20-25 times so that we can ourselves feel that effect on our body and mind. And you can do whatever the mantra you like. ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय। 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय. Now feel the change in our mind, in the atmosphere, and feel that divine presence in our lotus heart. Feel the different frequency which is there in and around you. So next class we will have different types of meditation. That is Rupa Dhyana, Guna Dhyana, Leela Dhyana, Swarupa Dhyana. So the different types of objective meditation we shall try to see in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.